Part 2 of a Vinyl Finds video series. Things opening up in Wisconsin, out there digging in crates, finding cool stuff. This is a haul of 78 RPM records. I'm going to show you. That's coming up next. Hello, vinyl community, music lovers, 78 collectors, shellac stack citizens, and anyone else who just happened to stumble upon this video. Welcome to Tone and Grooves. My name is Jeff. I'm your host, and this is, like I said, the second video in, I guess, a series. I mean, it's things have kind of lightened up here in Wisconsin, so I've had a chance to get out and get into some stores, some antique shops, and a record store. So I don't know, maybe you've seen the other video, maybe you haven't. If you in that video I showed, anyway, I went to an antique store here in Northwest Wisconsin that I love to frequent, hadn't been able to go to for months, and they opened up with the one requirement that you wear masks. And so I went out and did some digging, and came out of there with a bunch of vinyl as well as some a bunch of 78s, all $1 a piece. So my daughter tagged along. She was my camera operator, so we got some footage. I'll show you that, and then I will show you these super cool finds. So check it out. Very cool. I mean, it's a fantastic store. They have all kinds of really cool stuff, and they oftentimes get lots of records in. So these, I guess I should give a little bit of background information. I've been reading a book on it's called The Birth of Bebop. The Birth of Bebop, and in there, I mean, it's talking about the origins of bebop jazz, and how many of these people who were the originators of the bebop movement, Charlie Parker, Dizzy Gillespie, Coleman Hawkins, and those guys, and how they played in a number of the big bands at the time in the late in the 30s and early 40s. And so I've had all this in my head, and have been kind of keeping an eye out for some of these 78 records of these bands that had these originators of the bebop movement playing in it, and even some of the big band leaders who kind of started kind of playing a little bit of this kind of more bop style jazz and whatnot. So that's kind of the background and why I got some of these records that I got. So anyway, I'll get into a little more detail as we go along. So I've been yakking for a few minutes now and we haven't even shown a record yet. Anyway, so yeah, here we go. Picked up a number of Charlie Barnet. These are on the Bluebird label. This is Wasn't It You and Be Fair. Charlie Barnet and his orchestra. I dig Charlie Barnet, tenor sax player. Some more Charlie Barnet. Here's Fools Fall in Love, and You're Lonely and I'm Lonely. Great stuff. Obviously have not cleaned these yet, so need to do that. Some of these I'm sure will show up in Shellac Stack listening sessions. So here we got more Charlie Barnet and his orchestra. The Fable of the Rose and The Breeze and I. Let's see. Didn't think about it when I placed my camera and whatnot. You're looking at my bald spot whenever I go forward. Anyway, what are you gonna do? It is what it is. More Charlie Barnet, Redskin Rumba and Southern Fried. I have not listened to this one. Some of these I did listen to, even though I haven't cleaned them yet, just because I was like, I just got to hear what this song sounds like. I didn't play this one. I need to. Those sound great. Redskin Rumba and Southern Fried. And more Charlie Barnet and his orchestra. I'll Remember April and I'm Coming, Virginia. Oh, I got these mixed in. These were actually a few that I bought online here recently. So these were not $1. These were a little bit more than $1. But I did buy these online recently, so I have to clarify that. Some Bing Crosby. We got Home on the Range on the Brunswick label, as well as The Last Roundup, also on Brunswick. Lenny Hayton and his orchestra. Here's another Bing Crosby with Guy Lombardo. This is Young and Healthy. And You're Getting to Be a Habit with Me, both on Brunswick. And a George Olsen record on Victor. This is, yep, both from George Olsen. I fall down and go boom. And A Precious Little Thing Called Love. George Olsen and his orchestra, or George Olsen and his music is what it's called, but it's George Olsen and his orchestra. Both those with vocals. So, and Victor Scrolls. So that's mid-20s. So that's definitely going to show up in a Shellac Stacks listening session, I'm sure. Okay, back to the finds at the antique store, $1 a piece. Here's Bing Crosby and Frank Sinatra. Well, Did You Ever on Capitol. And Bing Crosby and Grace Kelly. These are from High Society. Yeah. True Love on the Capitol label. It just occurred to me, I think I probably have that on an LP, but whatever. Cool to have it on 78. Here, Bob Crosby. So I dig, Bob Crosby's Bing Crosby's brother. Bob Crosby's orchestra played this like kind of Dixieland style big band, which I just love. So picked up a number of Bob Crosby records at the antique store, $1 a piece. This is between 18th and 19th on Chestnut Street. These are all on Decca, and I want to wrap you up and take you home with me on Decca. These are early Decca records, but they're not on the what's called the Sunburst label, so these are later pressings, but, hey, whatever, I don't care. Oh, I guess I just got one Bob Crosby. Okay, I only got one Bob Crosby. Here's a Jimmy Dorsey and his orchestra. Good for Nothing. And Romance Runs in the Family. Here's one. I had no idea who, this is the Four Clefs. I had no idea who the Four Clefs were, or are, whatever, were. But I was totally just done in by one of the titles of the song. So on the A side, we got Why Should I Care? And on the B side, you've got The Jive is Jumpin'. I could not resist that song, The Jive is Jumpin'. And The Jive is Jumpin'. I listened to this already, even though it's not clean. It's a great tune. So glad I picked that up on a blind buy. Jan Garber and his orchestra. I've been getting to Jan Garber. You know, there's a history there with, I have some Tommy Christian records, and Tommy Christian played with Jan Garber and all of that. So now I've just kind of been picking up Jan Garber records. So this is on OK. This is A Romantic Guy, I. And Goodbye Forever to Goodbye. Both on OK. Jan Garber and his orchestra. Here's a Columbia, an early Columbia. I collect this group, so I pick them up whenever I can. This is the Happy Six. How Many Times? And Leave Me with a Smile. Some kind of, some cool early jazzy, not jazz, but jazzy dance band music from the teens. Erskine Hawkins is another artist that I've kind of been getting into. He does a lot of, he did a lot of kind of soulful, kind of bluesy, big band music. So found a number of his records. Here's Because of You. These are on Bluebird. Do You Want to Jump, Children? That's a cool tune. I listened to that one too. Let's see, more Erskine Hawkins. King Porter Stomp. And Lucky Seven, both on the Bluebird. A lot of these are Bluebird and Decas. Another Erskine Hawkins, Cherry, and You Can't Escape From Me. Let's see, we got some Woody Herman. Woody Herman, the Woody Herman Orchestra, a band that was mentioned in that Birth of Bebop. He started using some bebop in some of his recordings in the early, be the 40s. And a lot of Woody Herman stuff just really swings, like it's just hard swinging. Some of it's just kind of more standard, kind of la-di-da. But anyway, I've been picking up Woody Herman stuff. We got That's My Desire on a red Columbia label, and Ivy's on the flip. We'll see how it sounds. I don't know. Here's some more Woody Herman on Decca. The Sky Fell Down. And Blue Prelude. More Woody Herman. On the Isle of May. And East Side Kick. More Woody Herman. Bessie's Blues. And Music by the Moon. Oh, let's go that way. Got a little John Coltrane going on in the background. Let's see. More Woody Herman. Blue Ink. And Can This Be Love? More Woody Herman. This is a record specifically that was mentioned in that Birth of Bebop book. So I'm super excited to add this to the collection. You got Woodchopper's Ball. And Big Wig in the Wigwam. More Woody Herman. Where do I go from you? And I'll pray for you. More Woody Herman. Deep Night. And Whistle Stop. Some Harry James and his orchestra. This is Let Me Up on a red label, Columbia. And then it's scratched out for some reason, but looks like I Cried for You. Maybe somebody cried for someone too much. And super excited to find a copy of this. This is, you know, thanks to the Avengers, this is a highly collectible record now. Seeing this going on eBay anywhere from, you know, like 40, 50 bucks on up to 100 or more. This is Harry James and his orchestra with Kitty Kalin on vocals. It's been a long, long time. It's been a long, long time is played when Captain America, the last Avengers movie, Endgame, when he goes back in time and gets to dance with his fiance, girlfriend, whatever she was. They dance to that song. It's been a long, long time. And then the flip is Autumn Serenade. This is not a first press. It's first press for this record would have 3 lines of patent information. It's got 2 lines, so this is a little bit later pressing from, you know, mid to later 40s. Another Harry James, got Backbeat Boogie on a red label, Columbia, and Night Special. It's got personnel listed here. Harry James, Jack Palmer. Oh, the print is, I can't read it. Anyway, super cool. Those are good titles. Backbeat Boogie and Night Special. We got here another Harry James, On a Little Street in Singapore. This has vocal chorus by Frank Sinatra. And on the flip, also Frank Sinatra, Who Told You I Cared? Let's see, what's up next? Andy Kirk. Andy Kirk is mentioned in that Birth of Bebop book. Andy Kirk's orchestra, let's see if I get this right. Jay McShann, I think Jay McShann played with the Andy Kirk Orchestra. Jay McShann went on to start his own lead his own orchestra band, and then like Charlie Parker played with that band, Dizzy Gillespie played with that band, some, you know, maybe some others, but those two I remember in particular. I did not find any Jay McShann records, unfortunately, but I did find some Andy Kirk. Don Byas also, who's an early bop sax player, I believe played with Andy Kirk's orchestra. So I got a number of Andy Kirk records. So this is Skies Are Blue, and I'll Get Along Somehow. More Andy Kirk, I Surrender Dear. Try not to raise my head too much, so you don't need to be looking up my nose, right? So should have lowered the camera, I guess, but I'll Get By. More Andy Kirk. This is I Won't Tell a Soul and Toady Toddle. More Andy Kirk. Ghost of Love and Jump Jack Jump. More Andy Kirk and his Clouds of Joy. It Always Will Be You. And I'm Getting Nowhere With You. It always will be you, and I'm getting nowhere with you. So I'll always It'll always be, I'll always be getting nowhere with you anyway. Let's see here. More Andy Kirk. Please don't talk about me when I'm gone. And why go on pretending? More Andy Kirk. Unlucky Blues. And Ride On, Ride On. Last few here. Gertrude Nielsen picked this up just for the song Smoke Gets in My Eyes. It's on Victor. Smoke Gets in My Eyes. I love that song. It was my grandmother's favorite song. It's a beautiful song. When that song is done right, that, you know, man, that just brings the tears, man. Like when it's done right, it's just a beautiful song. Backed by Jealousy. Yeah, when Smoke Gets in Your Eyes, beautiful. I got a Engelbert Humperdinck CD, and he does Smoke Gets in Your Eyes, and it's just amazing. It's beautiful. In fact, the CD's in the CD player right now. It's on Random Play. Maybe it'll come up in the next few minutes. Who knows? So, yeah, Gertrude Nielsen. With orchestral accompaniment directed by Ray Sinatra. Don't know if that's any relation to Frank Sinatra. That'd be interesting to look up. Last two. This was just a by chance, you know, kind of blind buy, so to speak, just because I was intrigued by one of the song titles here. This is I'm assuming Jan Sabat and his orchestra. So A side is Rose of the Rio Grande on Decca. And the song that caught my attention was this one, Blues in the Groove. Blues in the Groove. And it's a great jazzy tune. Absolutely. I was so pleased. I'm like, yes. Glad I picked that one up. And last but not least, picked this up. So, I mean, I like the singer, Vic Damone. It's Vic Damone, who I do like some of his stuff. Got a couple Vic Damone LPs. Kind of dig his vocals, his kind of big band vocals. But got this mainly because of the record itself. It is this kind of, I've never seen one of these before. It's a Mercury record. Looks like it's an original sleeve. It says Mercury Plastic, not to be sold. So it's a promo copy. You got Vic Damone, That Feathery Feeling, and Vic Damone, Worry, Worry, Worry. But intrigued by this promo copy, Mercury Plastic, and it is not shellac. It's, I'm assuming vinyl, a vinyl record. So yeah, super cool, very interesting, kind of a fun pickup, just to add this kind of a, you know, a historical piece, if you will, to the collection. So that's it. That is the 78 haul that came out of that antique shop. I think there's like 30, 35, 30s, 36 records, something like that. Super cool stuff. Looking forward to digging in, cleaning these up, and yeah, some of these are going to show up in Shellac Stack listening sessions. Something in there that you really want to hear, that you would love to have played in upcoming episodes of Shellac Stack's listening sessions, let me know. Know anything about any of these records? Chime in, drop some comments. I always appreciate that, love the interaction. Thanks so much for watching, for hanging in there and, you know, hanging out with me as we go through those records, going along on the ride, for the ride, if you will, in the antique shop. And until next time, stay in the groove.